order. Mackenzie, is the live stream running?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to remind the board to put their phones in airplane mode as per the communications policy. Okay, so let's have a roll call of directors.
Director Jones?
Here.
Director Dudo?
Here.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Bob?
Here.
Director Dunlap?
Here.
Okay. Agenda item 3, citizens communications. Let's start with Sarah Teal. You have 2 minutes, and Zach is going to be our timekeeper tonight.
I've been watching what happens here in WTCMUD1 for several years now. More recently, I have expanded my vision to watching other local governments. This long-term and expanded vision has highlighted several areas where I believe there is room for growth with regards to keeping the public informed in this district. First, I believe it is imperative that the Information Management Committee, in coordination with the district's attorney and the general manager, prioritize making sure that the information provided to the public via the district's website is accurate and up to date. There was a situation recently where the election information presented on that site was not correct, even after the time for applying for a place on the ballot began. The information left there had director candidates sending their applications to the wrong address, and also posted the inappropriate application so that the director candidates had to complete, sign, and notarize their documents multiple times. This kind of lack of attention to detail diminishes the ability to hold free and fair elections. Presenting accurate information to the constituents should be the first thing on the to-do list, not an afterthought. Additionally, I have seen 2 concerning new developments since the district has hired a new attorney. First, a new practice to place the bills and invoices in the consent agenda and only allow them to be removed from that undiscussed location by majority vote seems misguided. The bills and invoices are an important place to go over with a fine-tooth comb as they represent money spent from each taxpayer's pocket. The move to conceal them in the consent agenda appears fiscally irresponsible to me as an onlooker. Furthermore, in all other local governments I have watched, it only takes one member's concern to remove an item from the consent agenda to be looked at more closely. Requiring a majority to allow additional discussion on an item of concern seems to be an exceptionally concerning departure from parliamentary procedure. Also, the agenda attachments are no longer made reliably available to the general public on their website in time to review them, as they were under the previous attorney, and as they are at every other local government meeting that I have attended in other locales.
What's your time
Thank
now?
you.
Is the microphone on? Because it's beeping red rather than green. Okay, I think it's doing green. Okay, next is Matt Whittington. You have 2 minutes.
Last month, a resident named Gerald Burgess attended my MUD meeting. He presented himself as a MUD director for this very board. However, we all know he is not a director. He quickly corrected himself and continued with his comments, calling me out for being an ally to a sovereign citizen, and finally telling me to keep my nose in my own MUD's business. What I interpreted that as was to stop coming to these MUD meetings, asking for public records, and standing up for the rights of the residents. As all my public information requests and comments have been centered around how taxpayers' money is spent, I find it interesting that any taxpayer would not care how their money is being spent. Caring about how tax money is spent is why I got involved in my own MUD. It's also why I won the election and vowed to do the right thing. What happens in one MUD has a way of making its way to other MUDs. Before I got involved in my own MUD, the then current board hired a lobbyist and spent a sum close to $250,000 to get a legislative bill passed to get road powers, thus allowing them to spend tax dollars on the roads, and also managed to sneak a couple lines in regarding ACC powers. For those that aren't aware, the ACC predecessors had all passed away and had not signed away their rights, thus arguably making any ACC authority and decisions made invalid. This very MUD attempted to do the same thing in the very footsteps that my MUD board had taken. Thankfully, the residents banded together and protested, so no action was taken in this district. By paying attention to other MUD's business, I'm looking out for the best interests of residents as well as my own MUD. It seems like the only way of ensuring that any good that comes from other MUDs makes its way here is to reseat this board in November, and I look forward to that happening.
Okay, next we have Karen Wallace, who's with Valente Hills? You're with the HOA, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi there, my name's Karen Wallace, and I'm a board member of Valente Hills. This evening, I'd like to talk about deed restriction enforcement. Each month, the HOA and the MUD simultaneously perform inspections of the homes in Valente Hills. We're finding that having two different entities patrolling and providing violation letters is becoming confusing and frustrating for our homeowners. The homeowner sometimes receives two different violation letters from two different entities for the same occurrence within a short period, sometimes only a few days apart. The HOA is paying its management company for inspection as per our HOA governing documents, while the MUD's also paying another company to do the same. This is an unnecessary duplication of efforts and costs. Our homeowners pay property taxes to the MUD and also yearly HOA dues. Essentially, we're paying twice for the same services, creating additional financial burden on the owners of Valente Hills. To solve these issues, we as a board have approved the following suggested action plan. We'd like to continue enforcing our own deed restrictions via our management company and request that the MUD discontinue inspections in our neighborhood. The HOA would also like to enter into agreement with the MUD to reimburse the Valente Hills HOA for the costs that they're currently paying their contractor each month to perform Valente Hills inspections on a per lot cost basis. We'd like an agenda item at the next MUD meeting to discuss and then enter into this agreement with the MUD at your next board meeting. The Board of Valente Hills is available to help facilitate this agreement. In conclusion, we believe that this agreement is a win-win for everyone. The MUD would reduce their time in reviewing deed restriction violation enforcement cases, reduce their legal fees, reduce their inspection fees, stop mailing duplicate violation letters to homeowners, stop confusing and upsetting our homeowners, and finally, this agreement will be providing economic fairness to the homeowners of Valente Hills. Thanks.
Thank you. Wendy Martinez.
My name is Wendy Martinez. I do not live in this district. I live in the Fern Bluff district. However, both of our districts share a lot of similarities, such as the same deed restrictions, same management company, a similar fine scheme for deed violations, and now the same district attorney represents both districts. For that reason, I have been watching and attending your meetings for about a year now. In June, this board attempted to backcharge Director Fobb for district fees she had been issued in the past. The fees of office she received were for tasks such as reviewing contracts and invoices. These tasks were labeled as pet projects and tasks she created for herself. Ironically, in the same meeting, we watched how Director Catherine Franke attempted to increase Sage Management's pay by $37,000. She did so without considering accepting bids from other management companies. I found that interesting because just a couple months ago, Ms. Catherine Franke attended a Fern Bluff meeting and pushed for deed enforcement. Why would an elected official feel so compelled to push deed enforcement in a district she doesn't serve or live in? And why would she be so quick to spend taxpayer money on increased salary for Sage Management without doing her due diligence? Ms. Catherine Franke, what is your connection to Sage Management, and why are you so invested in that company? I hope your residents are watching what's going on in your district and asking questions.
Okay, next we have Chris Baker.
Hello, I'm a Valente Hills homeowner. My neighbor's yard next door and his house look like they've either been vacant for 5+ years or the Munster family is living there. It is an embarrassment to our community and to my family, and my family is extremely embarrassed to have people visit our house and see the disaster that is next door. This person has 2 large dead trees in his front yard and will not cut them down. I would put a lot of money down that he will never cut them down. I would just have to wait until one of the trees rots and falls on my house. His front bushes are out of control and have never been trimmed. His grass is dead because it has never been watered for the 15 years that he has lived there. There are leaves and debris on his front porch from years of wind blowing them up there. His front gate has been laying on the ground for 2.5 years and his fence is falling down. I have offered a number of times to trim his trees and out of control bushes in his front yard, but he has declined every offer. I've even offered to mow and weed eat his yard, and he has declined that as well. I would venture to say that this person has received 50+ violation letters over the years, and to my knowledge, he has ignored every single letter that has been sent to him. Something must be done here. I have tried various ways through our HOA and the MUD to have something done here, and it seems to go nowhere. What is the point of even having deed restrictions if they are completely unenforceable, and as a resident, I can do nothing about it? He will never move out of his home, so putting a lien on his house will do absolutely nothing. His water needs to be shut. Well, I understand you can't do that. Something needs to be done for these violations. I will not mention the indecent exposure to my 16-year-old daughter through his uncovered windows as well. That's a whole nother topic. As for these violations, please do our community a service and do something about this to keep the beauty of our community. I ask that you please listen to Mrs. Wallace and her suggestion for Valente Hills.
Thank you. And we have, next up is Deborah Dahl.
Use my allergies. My name is Deborah Dahl. I am actually running for one of the seats that you have for this board, and here's why. I guess I came in here the first time and I was angry, and now I'm sad. I'm sad because the representation of this board needed to be about us, the people sitting here, the people that live in this community. The election snafu I ran into, nothing was done, nothing was right. I could go down the line, but I want to speak for everybody that talks to me. Everybody that talks to me says, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened here? What happened to the very fact that you took an oath to represent us? Our trust is broken, our integrity is out the window, and our tax dollars are, we're not sure. So I'm standing here trying to be kind as I'm angry with so much of this garbage that goes on. It cannot be. And in November, I hope it changes, because the authenticity of how we treat each other is the most precious thing we have in these neighborhoods. Art, you can't sit there and say, I guess so, because maybe it'll help me, but you represent the community. Catherine Frankie, you represent the community. That's us. You're an attorney. You're an officer of the court. You have a responsibility to us. We pay all the bills. You all, the election snafu of wrong forms, wrong dates, wrong everything, but you had time to attack another board member, I believe, that's my opinion, and all this must stop, because we have to live in this community together, and we're going to do it with or without the people that either play fair or not. And I think reseating the board is going to bring us to a point where we get to, with our money and our time and our values, come together as a community without this back and forth of who did what, and have it be, absolutely be, transparent on all levels with all documents, and it's in writing. Y'all are smart women. You can look it up. It's in writing. It's in black and white. Those are facts. Those aren't opinions. And that we can all look up. How we treat each other all matters.
And Chris Rocco.
I'm here tonight representing the Anderson Midwest Neighborhood Association. We've had a long spell without any rain. You can look around the neighborhood and see that it hasn't rained in a while, and we'd like the board to make either a proclamation or some sort of request that all the residents pray for rain as soon as tomorrow, because tomorrow's the highest percentage that we've had in quite some time. You may not believe in prayer, but I'm certainly one of those that believes it can't hurt anything, and Lord knows we need the rain. Second of all, the Neighborhood Association is having a membership drive. We are encouraging all residents to visit the website for all the forms regarding how they can join. Thank you.
Okay, was there, I'm sorry, David,
I hope that wasn't intentional, Catherine.
I'm sorry, I did miss you, you're right, you were supposed
Yeah,
to be
it's
right after Matt.
right in the middle, exactly.
Sorry.
Doesn't surprise me, it's okay, it happens. It's nice to see that we have other parts of the neighborhood coming out and representing their people, the HOAs here. There are a lot of issues in our MUD district, and I'm really happy that you're here to voice your opinion, because we've been doing it for many, many years, and nothing seems to get done. It's always a group of people that get all the attention if you're in their circle. As long as you kiss the ring and follow them, you'll get what you want. I'm talking from firsthand experience. I ask for things and I get nothing in return for my tax dollars. So to me, it's taxation without representation. So that's why I decided to run to advocate for myself, because I don't have a voice amongst these 4 board members. Linda is the only one that actually represents me, and yet she's been censored by this board, which is, to me, un-American. It's sad that officer of the court, a member of the service to this armed forces, would go forward with that and agree with that. But, it doesn't surprise me, Zach. What else? There is no equitable deed restriction in this neighborhood. If you look back in some of our past meetings, Debbie Henry was a target. My address is on the agenda tonight as a target. I have an supposedly unregistered vehicle, which is an antique that only requires 1 plate. I wanted to present my proof that it is registered, but yet Catherine denied me. She said, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to give you a platform. So there are targets. There are people. I'm taking to court. I'm going to be taken to court. Supposedly, they're looking at taking me to court, which I asked them to bring it because you don't have a case. But yet, you have a gentleman for many years that is in violation of his deed, and nothing gets done. Once again, it's unequitable, and it's a waste of money. There is something you can do, sir, is to take him to small claims court and
Thank you, David.
ask the judge for a hearing.
Thank you, David. Okay, so that concludes the agenda item 3, citizens communications. Agenda item 4.
Madam President, if
I'm
I
sorry.
could, just real quick, just because it will affect the proceedings tonight. Item 8H, resolution revising the district's rules of order. I propose that the board take that up first and foremost.
Okay, I will take that. Okay, agenda item 8H, resolution revising the district rules of order.
So
Okay.
that's on page 40, or starts on page 40 of your board packets, directors, and the revisions under consideration are on pages 48 and 49. This is follow-up to the discussion we had 2 months ago, I believe, in which we were discussing abstentions among director votes. The marching orders I received was to eliminate that practice except for legal conflicts of interest. So if you look at page 49, section 4.12, voting, you'll see where the draft revises that and allows directors to abstain from voting only for legal conflicts of interest. So there's no more, under this draft, there's no more abstaining just because you don't feel like voting. And then I took the liberty of putting this revision into this draft because there's a very clear need at times for this board to spend more than 3 minutes discussing certain items. Specifically, a few months back, there was an exchange in the discussion with the district's engineer regarding what would have been an expenditure of, tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars for facilities. And it just does not seem appropriate to me for the board to curtail a discussion on something of that magnitude just because we want to keep things nice and tight. That said, I think there's a lot of things that this board spends a lot of time on that definitely need to be contained within inside the 3-minute window. But spending money on engineering projects is, I would posit, not one of those things. So on page 48 of your packet, section 4.8, link to comments, the revision essentially allows whoever has the floor, whichever director has the floor, to request from the board additional time to continue speaking for that particular purpose, whatever it may be. As with all things, it will be subject to a vote of the board. So just for example, Director Jones has the floor, there's an exchange with the consultant or whatever it may be, she runs out of her 3 minutes. She could then solicit additional time from the board. at that time, it's subject to a majority vote, just like any other procedural item is within your rules. So those are the two revisions that are before the board, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if I can.
Okay, so are you looking for a motion to adopt those two resolutions?
So it's one resolution that would adopt those two changes, Madam President.
Okay.
And the resolution itself is on page 40 and just kind of
Right.
spells out. But yes, ma'am, one motion would, the motion would be to approve the resolution, and the resolution incorporates those two revisions.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we amend the district rules of order, adjusting the conditions under which you directors can abstain from votes. Is that significant? Sufficient?
Yes, ma'am, and plus the additional time considerations.
Okay, and,
Well, Suzanne, as always, will make sure that it's
Okay.
accurately reflected in the minutes.
okay, can I have a second?
A second.
Okay, so why don't we start over here? Art, do you have any questions about the changes to this resolution, or any comments?
I do not.
Okay, Linda, do you have any questions or comments about this resolution?
I have comments.
Okay,
The Texas Local Code summaries that are offered in that resolution, 171, 176, and 553, require a director to abstain and file an affidavit if they have a business interest, or you or your family have a relationship with a vendor or take more than $100 in gifts, and you must abstain from a vote and file an affidavit because if you have ownership interest in property. Those are the only citations offered in the resolution. State law does address
abstention?
abstentions by members of local governing body. Excuse me, it does not address that. Nor does it limit the circumstances under which a member may voluntarily abstain. This is tied to free speech implications. Robert's Rules of Order provides guidance in matters of voting and parliamentary procedure. The basic principles in Robert's Rules concerning abstentions are as follows. Abstentions are counted and noted, but not as a yes or no vote. An abstention does not affect the voting result. A member has a right to abstain and cannot be compelled to vote. A member has an obligation to abstain if he or she has direct personal interest in a matter that amounts to a legal conflict of interest. I take my duty to the public very seriously, and I will not vote on any measure that I have not been fully briefed on, or that I believe to be against the law or unethical or beyond the scope of the authority granted to a MUD district. I will continue to abstain from votes where I have not been provided the records that I need to make an informed decision, or where the General Counsel refuses to provide me with competent legal services. If the rest of this board, on the advice of their attorney, chooses to convert my abstentions to negative votes for a tally, I cannot stop that. But I will continue to vote according to my conscience, and no change to the rules of procedure will stop me from doing that. Luckily, we have a videotaped public record that will continue to reflect my actual vote instead of the coerced one you are attempting to install here, and that is what true transparency and democracy looks like. The resolution in this packet that the public only today would have been able to see requires a vote whether you have one or not to offer. It requires you to vote. That's not how democracy works. This board has censured me and allowed contractors to not provide answers to my questions or any records that I ask to see. I'm not voting unless I see the records. That's my stand. Catherine?
Okay, so my comment on this issue is when these rules were first presented, it was my intention to question the whole concept of abstaining and the ability to have an opportunity to create another soapbox to stand on while you're abstaining from the vote. And it didn't strike me as something that I felt was going to be good for our district. And so that's why I asked our attorney to take a look at this, because if you don't want to, it's like you vote yes or no. You don't get to say, I don't want to vote because I don't want to have it be recorded that I actually voted for this. And that was my concern about the whole concept of abstaining. It was going to be used as an opportunity not to make a decision and go on the record. So I think it's very important that we vote yes or no when the votes come up to us. Unless, of course, you have a legal conflict that would require you from abstaining. Okay. Sorry, Megan, you're next.
Yeah, so I guess it seems like, Mr. Evans, you were involved in drafting these changes. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So do you have anything to offer in response to the suggestion that we are violating free speech or violating other laws by doing this?
You're absolutely violating no laws. Robert's Rules of Order are not law. You're not in any way, shape, or form required to follow Robert's Rules of Order. This board, including Ms. Fobb, voted to adopt these rules of procedure whenever McGinnis Lockridge became your general counsel. So you've chosen as a board to be governed by these rules. And that's about all I have to say about it.
Okay, Beth, do you have any comments that you'd like to share?
Actually, he just answered them. So mine was, didn't we agree on this in the beginning? And the other comment is, I believe in yes or no. I mean, it is a yes or no, you just have to say it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and call the vote.
Director Jones? Yes. Director Bill?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Bob?
No.
Director Madrano?
Okay.
Ayes have it, Madam President, 4-1.
Okay, so do you have any other recommendations for adjusting the order?
No, ma'am, that really was the only procedural matter.
Okay, then let's go to agenda item 4, director's fees and reimbursements. I believe I was the only one who submitted reimbursements, so, okay.
Fees of office.
Yeah, that's what I meant, fees of office. I was the only one who submitted fees of office, so I don't think there's anything that we need to do with that. Okay, consent agenda. Agenda item 5, consent agenda. So we've got the minutes from June 15. The billing and invoice committee met with Michael and Mackenzie, and we went over all the bills, and we're recommending that we pay both the outstanding invoices from July and August. And is there anything else? Do we have anything to discuss about, I don't think we have anything on the quarterly invoice report, right? Okay. Megan, you want to make a motion?
Sure.
Okay.
Motion to approve the consent agenda, items A, B, and C.
Okay. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Let's start with Beth. Do you have any questions on the consent agenda? Okay. Megan, do you have any questions?
No.
I don't have any questions or comments on the consent agenda. Linda, do you have any questions?
I do. I have a question for Michael. Did you get my errors, the errors I found? I sent them really late, really late. Yeah.
Okay.
There's repeat errors in there again.
Okay.
Repeat errors?
Yeah.
Okay. And Art, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So we are going to go to agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. We need a vote. Sorry. I'm moving real fast here. Okay. Can you call the vote, please?
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Bob?
No.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Bill?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Ayes have it, Madam President.
Okay. Agenda item 6, review of the district financials. I will give you 6 minutes since we really have July and 2 months worth to go through. Hopefully, you're not going to need it.
Is there any objection from the board on that?
No, okay.
And I expect not to need it. I'll start on page 5 of the financials. Worth noting that through July, the district is running about 101,000 ahead of revenue projections. The majority of that is property tax revenue and the water revenue. In terms of administrative expenses, the district, as recorded, is about 59,000 ahead of budget, but that did not include the legal service invoices for July. They came in after we completed the packet. So we're closer to about 50,000 ahead. And the biggest chunk of that is that we had a budget for legal services litigation for being sued as opposed to the restricted covenants. And we've used very little of that this year, 60-some-thousand under budget. On page 6, in terms of the operations and maintenance budget, the district's running about 36,000 better than budget for the year. The biggest chunk of that, the roving patrol, we put in a budget for the whole year, and obviously we only just started, so we're going to be ahead of that budget all year long, about 34,000. So otherwise, discounting that one new item that we didn't start until late in the year, we're just about even with our budget if we didn't consider the roving patrol at all. System maintenance running about 75,000 better than budget. The biggest chunks of that is the sewer and sidewalk. The sewer work is about 45K under budget. The sidewalks about 23K under budget. On the parks, there's not much to say. The grant total is that they're about 20,000 better than budget across all of them as we have them separated out. In terms of the big capital projects, big project budgets, we're about 110,000. Primarily, we had what would have been 45K for the whole year, 37.5 of it thus far this year that we haven't done the playscape on. The mailbox budget came in under budget. We haven't done the signage. We're under budget on the lift station project for this year, and also the Meadow and Loop Trail completion project. So typically that's true for this district, that we budget a lot for projects and then we don't do all of them. So the net total is that the district is about 400,000 better than budget, a little less than that, take out the month's legal. Jumping on to page 11, the tax collections report. We're well past our 99% collections, ahead of last year's rate. And we had the 1 year, the first COVID year, where we shortfalled our budget on that. It's the first time we've come in under 99%, but it looks like that's in our rearview mirror. That's the taxpayers are paying. And I can see that quite a lot of tax arrears have been paid this year, particularly this month. We saw quite a bit come through. Moving on to page 12, worth noting on that we have a bond payment that's due 9/1 that was included in your packet for $182,200, and we're in the last 2 years of those payments. And then jumping on to page 14, the operating fund balance. Since we're running about 400,000 ahead of budget, we're thinking that we'll end the year about 400,000 ahead of the fund balance that we expected to have. There's very little surprise that those two numbers are correct, connected. Pages 15 through 21 are the updated payment register that had been ready to be presented at the July 20th board meeting that did not occur. It had all been reviewed by the Bills and Invoices Committee, and we prepared the checks, and then the meeting was canceled. The only change, I believe, from what had been presented at that time is that we employed one check and issued a manager's check, which shows up on the payment register for this month because they were threatening to shut us down. And so the grand total on that payment register is, I was wrong, I said it ends on page 23, $310,180.93. And then pages 24 through 34 are the payment register for this August 17th meeting. Again, the Bills and Invoices Committee worked through all of these. There is nothing of exceptional note. As I noted to the board, there was a run of voided checks, 5641 through 5653. Voided because the printer malfunctioned, we had network error, and so those checks did not print. They needed to be voided on our system and then reprinted. And so that is why you have that long run of voided checks. I apologize for that error. And then the grand total of payments on the payment register from 7/21 through 8/17 is $400,847.90. Then in addition, we have the transfers, including the transfers from August. So we have our tax transfers, our operating transfer, and then the bond payment of the $182,200 that is due 9/1. And that really was everything that I wanted to present.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, agenda items.
Wait, I need to ask him a couple of questions,
Sure.
if you don't mind.
Okay.
Why didn't the July bills get paid with 3 board member signatures as was done in January? When
They were not done that way.
in January, they were paid when the meeting was canceled.
Yes, and that's not what happened here.
I know, why didn't you do it in July? And
Why
make the
did we do it
payments?
in July?
Yeah.
Because there had been an objection made that was perhaps inappropriate. So the determination was made to go ahead and not do that and let the vendors wait for a month.
Okay. Also, I had a call from DC Domestics today. They've worked 8 or 9 weeks without payment.
Right, and that is something I did want to mention, which was that because of that canceled meeting, that caught them. They were going to have their very first invoice presented at the July meeting. And there had not been an official determination by the board about how their payment would be. The understanding is that they would be paid every month at the board meeting, but what their preference is that they would be paid every 2 weeks on the same schedule as the payroll patrol that the district already had on that schedule. So the determination was to go ahead and present their first invoice at the meeting, explain that to the board, let the board make the determination about how they would like to proceed with payment, and then we were ready to then follow that system of paying by manager's check between meetings on the every 2 week schedule. But because that meeting was canceled, we weren't able to do that. We needed to wait until this meeting so that the board could make that determination.
Right.
And so that is, by the way, I did want to bring that up myself, so you ran right past it. So thank you. To bring that to the board that the company would prefer to be paid every 2 weeks. That would require that the board give us the capacity to pay that out of the manager's account between meetings. And so as long as the board's comfortable with that, we're comfortable with that. And then I assume you'd want us to make sure that those invoices are seen by the security committee before we and approve them before we pay them would be the suggestion.
Can I finish my question?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, and I do have a motion written down to authorize their payment on the same schedule as the supervising constable of their services. But I won't even bother since you've covered that. But what I'm going to ask you to do, if possible, is leave their checks locked in that office overnight so they can come by in the morning and pick them up. They've worked 8 weeks without any payment at all, which I believe violates the Prompt Payment Act, because we are obligated to pay for services we receive that are in accordance with the contract. We are not obligated to pay for services that breach the contract. So I just want to make that really clear, and I have explained to him what happened about the meeting, but I was not aware of any board decision to not do what was done in January and sign checks. these decisions
spot
are being
district
made
time.
Yeah,
outside of the meeting.
okay.
By whom, I'd like to know.
Okay, so, I'm gonna, suggest that we take that whole issue up, at agenda item, 12C, the security committee, how about that?
And Zach, since Michael interrupted me while I was speaking, you owe me some minutes.
No, I don't actually. That was your 3 minutes. Next item.
Okay, just before we move on, does anybody have any, questions, for the review of the financials? Okay, let's move on. Okay,
To vote on the,
No, it was approved at the consent
it
agenda.
was approved at the consent agenda. Yeah, it was part of the consent agenda.
Is
Okay.
there approval to pay this contractor like on the same schedule as the contractor?
That's what
That
she's
should be
gonna.
Oh, she's gonna do
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Okay, so, 7, old business. Status and compliance of the cyber training compliance. Okay, why hasn't this gone away?
It just now got complied with, you are 100% in compliance, and I will file with the Department of Information Resources.
Okay, so it's not going to be on next month's
It
agenda.
will not.
Okay. Okay, agenda item 8, new business. Okay, A, draft of the new budget ending on August 31, 2023. So,
And that's misstated.
okay,
It's September 30th, but do you have an old agenda?
oh, maybe, okay, so September, yeah, you're right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so, were we gonna go over the
Yeah,
draft?
and let me just state, the first thing is that the board's not approving this
Right.
budget at this meeting. In fact, the main purpose of having the draft budget here first is for the general discussion as we move to the draft that you'll, something that you'll have to adopt in September. So we want to have
Yeah.
a good basis to work from that. But the particular point here at the August board meeting is to support B through E under A, which is the tax rate that you're going to publish
Right.
and set up the tax rate hearing. So the purpose of the budget in this draft state is to support that proposed tax rate. And it depends on the circumstance of the district then. Is that tax rate going to put the district where it needs to be? And so that's, sorry. Let me refocus. The purpose of presenting the draft budget here is so that you can see that, can this budget be supported by the tax rate that's being proposed? And so the draft budget that is on the Google Drive is the latest one that we finalized, not finalized, but finished this draft of late this afternoon. So we apologize that it took a while, but we were trying to get as much feedback from various people incorporated in this draft. And the key element of it is on I did not number them, I apologize. Page 6 of the proposed draft. You'll see the bottom line value it's a deficit budget right now of $348,091. And then beneath that is the section with the tax rates. And so on that, you can see that we've incorporated the increased valuations from Travis and Williamson County. We've incorporated the reduction in the debt service tax rate that your financial advisor has been able to work out based on the increased evaluation and the present status of the debt service that you owe, that she can lower the rate from 275 to 0078. And then that by the calculations from the tax office, the highest rate that the district can charge without incurring an automatic election is the 3021. And so from that leaves 2943 as the M&O rate, down from last year's 3016. An overall tax rate of 3021 down from 3291. And that will increase the collections for the district and help to close that deficit of a bit that we're projecting. And then the key element on that $348,000 deficit is that the engineer has suggested a budget of $300,000 for the Hatch lift station project. And so that's the vast bulk of the negative, is what he estimates will be necessary in FY23 to correct the ongoing issues at Hatch Lift Station. There are some other elements, and we'll still keep working through the draft, obviously. We think that we can get this budget closer to surplus. But if the determination is that the board does want to go forward with the lift station rehab at the level that the engineer has suggested, it will be difficult for the district to be in surplus this year. But I will note that that is not necessarily a terrible thing. The district has a reserve. It's not the level that they want to get at, the 12-month reserve, but they do have a reserve. Dipping into it for a one-shot project is definitely a legitimate use of running a deficit budget.
Okay. I'm gonna ask, give everybody time to ask questions, and I know that Megan has put a lot of effort into creating a handout as it relates to the budget, where you're trying to talk about how money is, about the money that we're looking to allocate. Am I saying that correct? That's what this was, correct?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's for the park plan.
Oh, this is for the park plan, never mind, okay. I'm gonna start, and this is a question. When I got off the last budget meeting with Megan, we weren't at 348. What changed?
Well, that was pretty much the biggest item.
Is that, okay.
We got the feedback from the engineer.
Okay, got it. That was basically.
But I do want to comment that I did not incorporate your suggestion about the meters. And so that'd be a big ticket item that we could move, that would make us closer budget.
Okay, that explains, it's like, what the heck? That was not where I left off when I got off that last meeting.
Yeah, we were much closer to balance at that point.
Okay,
so.
okay. Megan, I'll start with Beth. Beth, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
No.
Okay, and Megan, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
Not really a question so much as just a comment. I did add very late today, so you probably haven't seen it. It's on the it's in the financials Google Drive. Another document that's essentially just the budget as Michael just presented, except it's color coded. And this is just how my brain thinks about things. So it's categorized into 3 categories. Fixed budget items, which are more or less unchangeable. Variable budget items, which we have as a board very little control over changing the budget amount, and then discretionary budget items, which is really where we would have an opportunity to get our budget closer to even in this case. So as the board is looking at the budget over the course of the next month, it's just another way of organizing things so that you can more easily identify the things that we could potentially, places where we could potentially cut.
And just to explain the variable piece a little bit more, those are items that the district's going to have to do, but you never can predict from year to year what they are, which is quite a lot of the repairs and maintenance. Your water repairs, your sewer repairs vary dramatically from year to year. You have to do them, but you'll never know what they're going to be from year to year.
Okay. Linda, did you have any comments or questions?
I do. Since this didn't come out, I didn't have a chance to look at it, so just tell me if this is in here. The trimming of the trees off the CMU walls? Cleaning of the walls?
We have, it depends on whether you're counting that as part of the wall budget.
Is there a wall budget?
Yes, there was actually 2.
I think Linda's talking about trees and trimming.
Or is it part of the trees and trimming budget?
We have an R&M trees and trimming budget.
How much is it?
That one's $25K.
That's not going to be enough.
We did a lot of work.
How about repairing the entry sign at El Salito and 620 and the lights that surround it? Is that on the budget?
That's not a project that we have in the budget.
Okay, that needs to be done. There's a huge gash in the sign, and when it takes on water, the facade will fall off that sign.
The what falls off
The
it?
facade, the brown outer layer.
Okay.
We've talked about that.
Do you have in the budget to replace the 60-foot of CMU wall on Yago Creek that is structurally deficient?
That is the wall budget that I was
It's a carryover budget of 10,000 from previous years.
Where's that category? Operations and maintenance?
That is under system maintenance, the R&M wall.
So
That's
another
12.
10,000 to get it done right after we pay 10,000 for it to be done incorrectly?
No, that's just what we have in the budget.
Oh,
That's
so
just
what
a
is it going to
rollover.
cost?
And I'm
to get it
sorry, we
right?
changed that number to 12K.
But that's to include the 2K for the survey for what your budget carries every 5 years.
So what is it going to cost to build that wall correctly? Herb? Any idea?
I don't know what you paid for it last time.
10,000 to do it
Just a hair
incorrectly?
shy of 10.
Are y'all talking, I've heard y'all rebuilding, so y'all tearing it down and starting over? or-
Well, it's structurally deficient, which means conditions with especially dry soil, that footer's going to roll and that wall can fall. That's what the structural engineer said in his report. So I think it behooves us, for safety reasons, to build that wall correctly. But we need to know what that's going to cost so it can go into the budget. And then we'll have to talk about recovering our money from the vendor or the contractor who did not follow the contract.
I would probably put that, you've got 12, is that what you said, for that number? It's probably going to be closer to 15, just guesstimating here, because you gotta, it's not just putting it up, it's like you're going to have additional costs of carrying it.
Taking it down. And how about the illuminated circles on fire hydrants? Did they make it into the budget? We talked about this almost a year ago. Fire trucks can't find the fire hydrants because
Eliminated circles?
illuminated
Oh,
circles.
illuminated circles, okay, it's like, okay.
Where you slip a disc on one of or on the sides of the.
Ms.
And
Fobb,
do
that's
you
your
have
time.
Yeah.
Hold
proposed
on,
price on that?
hold on,
Yeah, we
everybody.
don't.
Ms. Fobb, that's your time. If you'd like to request more time, you need to ask the board.
I'd like to request more time.
Do you have to request the amount of time? How does that work?
We'll do it in 3-minute increments. We'll
Okay.
keep doing it that way. And
Okay.
We're going to have a vote, just like everything else, so.
Okay.
If there's a motion to give her more time, then somebody needs to make that motion and there needs to
How
be a
many
vote.
more items do you have?
That's my last one. I just
Okay.
would like to follow up on it.
Okay,
No, we haven't, and we'll work on getting a price for it.
Thank you.
okay. Okay, you're done?
For that one, yes.
Okay. Art, do you have any questions?
Well, I just want to see how you guys broke this out. Where do we break out all the projects? I see
Yeah,
the 48.
it's a little frustrating that the order of where the projects show up is different between this budget and on the P&L. So I apologize for that. The formats don't jive. And so I have the same problem occasionally going, where is that? It's at the bottom on the P&L. But here it's on what is page 3, just ahead of the operations and maintenance, at the top of that page. And so that shows the park improvements plan and budget, and then we have, individual projects under that. The detention pond improvements, the Madeline Loop Trail completion, meter, purchasing the electronic meters, the LED sign, the lift station.
Physical environment?
Yes, physical environment,
You
right.
can't change it on it, too.
Yes, and I apologize.
All right. So, based on this, our wish list of projects that we want done
Yeah,
are
that's
park
fine.
improvements, detention pond improvements, the trail, of course. And if they're in red, that means we don't have a budget for it?
The red is kind of an internal note to me of budgets that we changed during the process. So either changed from the prior year budget or budgets that we changed as we were discussing it. And they all show up as red here, but internally on the spreadsheet, I can see which version number they were changing. There's slightly different colors of red that I'm using. So, and then I have notation on the side as I'm working through this.
Yeah.
But again, this is a working draft of the budget. It's certainly not the final one, so.
Now, the LED sign, what is that? I mean, I know we talked about it, but that's something
The
funding
thing,
this year?
it was one of yours from a while ago.
Yeah.
You wanted an LED sign instead of having the little sign you pull around.
Oh, is it still in the budget?
I guess.
Yeah, and in fact, we changed the number to 25K.
Why did you? I thought we were gonna.
Wow,
It was
okay.
a
There we
carryover
go.
item
How
that
do
was
we remove it?
requested last
Yeah,
year. We
okay,
have to have somebody tell us to remove it.
okay.
Do we want that in the budget?
It would only serve one location versus the roller that can go all over the district.
I personally think, it's one of those things that we need to improve.
Line item.
Yeah, but, okay,
Maybe that's not the way.
yeah.
So these are what I'm looking for, then, products.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so none of this is written in stone, so we still have, well, basically, we're gonna have 3 weeks. Do we have a deadline? I'm trying to remember, we talked about this. We have to get something published.
So Williamson County requires that we turn in your order levying taxes by the 15th of September, so you'll have to have your tax hearing prior to that date.
Okay, and when is our standard board meeting next month?
Not until
The 20th.
you are gonna have to reschedule.
Okay, so we're gonna have
regardless.
to, reschedule that to be earlier next month. Okay, okay,
Or a special, but yeah, it'll be a lot cheaper to move it forward.
right,
Your
okay,
bookkeeper will be frustrated that he'll have a shorter deadline, but that's good.
right, okay.
We should crack the whip on him. He's
Just last.
Sure, yeah, keep going.
Okay, so based on all that, with the projects that we've got delineated here, so we're looking at, our debt has gone down. So where are we as far as, we don't know what our tax collection is yet, right?
And that was in the financials that were over 99%. You were at like 99.8
Right.
or something.
I mean, what we're gonna collect next year? It's
But in the budget, I'm projecting a 99% collection rate, and that's, again, on that second to last page with the taxes section. And that is up from 98%. We had lowered the collection percentage because, as I noted, 2 years
Right.
prior to the first COVID year, we shortfalled. But we're exceeding this year. I'm confident that we're back to 90, that we'll get at least to 99% collection, or an effective rate of that anyway.
Okay,
So,
So then if I look on the last page, that's where you show
the bond payments, are you looking at the debt service
I'm
bond?
looking at the fund balance beginning and then the fund balance ending. That's where we're in the arrears, right?
Yes, and so we
Mr. Medrano's time is
began.
Hold on. Mr. Medrano's time has expired, so if you want to continue the conversation, the board needs to take a vote.
We have time.
I'm just asking for the board to approve it, so if you want additional time, it's it's certainly your prerogative to ask.
I'm fine.
okay. Okay, so, so agenda item 8B, so do we have, report from the district's financial advisor for the tax rate?
Right, and that's what's
It's in
incorporated.
your board packet, but
Okay.
they provided on page 11.
Okay,
And again, those numbers are incorporated into this budget draft.
right. Okay, because that's what's on the bottom here, and that's how you got to the, oh, come on.
3021 overall rate.
Yeah, right, exactly, the
And the
3021.
078 debt service
Okay,
rate.
is there any more that needs to be discussed about that? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yes.
Okay,
Just a quick question, and it's a math thing. If I had my phone, I would do it myself, but I know you can do it in your head. The property taxes collected, the actual in 2021, and what's projected for 2023 looks like an additional 700,000?
Okay, so which numbers?
It's on page 1, under property taxes, under revenues. 1,826,716, proposed for 23, 2,395,443.
Yes, that's correct.
Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, that's correct. That was the actuals collected in FY21.
Right.
In FY22, we've already collected $2,084,000. So remember, you're comparing
Oh, yeah, that's- I'm
2
looking-
years apart instead of just one.
So do we know from the counties yet what our tax collection is going to look like for 2023?
Well, no, that
No, you don't know it until it comes in.
Collection will
Well, I mean,
be-
the appraised, based
But
on the
yes,
appraised.
yes, and that's what I was explaining
Is that an-
on this page, the increase in assessed valuations
Yeah.
on the taxes. So a net total of, the total valuation at this time last year for the 2021 tax year was 687 million plus, and the total valuation for the 2022 tax year, which is what's going to support the FY23 budget,
Right.
is 822 million, an increase of 19.5%
Right.
in valuation,
That's-
which is why the tax rate total is coming down.
But only 2 cents.
Um,
So we're not trimming our expenditures, we're just spending more of what we take in.
No, we are trimming our expenditures. If you look at the total expenditures, the adopted, well, and we'd have to net out the projects. But the overall budget expenditures are declining on outside of budget of 774, and they're going to increase by 527. And between budget, we are showing an increase of, all right, so 656. So yes, that is an increase of about 100,000 in total budget expenditures. A piece of that, though, is the water and sewer expense. As we're truing that up, we under budgeted that last year, primarily due to the dry weather. So the expenses exceeded, and that in and of itself is 95,000 difference, and 100,000 if you include the sewer. So if we net that out, you're very close to that the overall expenses are about even. If we exclude the project
The
budget,
projects.
right, which is discretionary.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so, 8C, we need to have a vote for the, what is it,
This
the,
is on your proposed tax rate.
Right.
This is what will go into your public notification.
which is the 3021?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I'm ready. Yeah.
okay. So, do we need to have a motion that breaks out the two different rates?
No, ma'am, it's just on the total vote, or the total tax assessment.
Okay, so
32.1.
I need a vote, I need a resolution, a motion. If you're not gonna make it, you're gonna force me to do it, so,
I'll make a motion.
okay.
I motion that we accept the proposed 22 tax rate of, is it 30.21?
Yeah,
No,
3021.
3021.
0.3021 or
That-
30 cents.
That
and
number right there,
0.21.
Yeah.
which is down to a little less than 2 cents.
2.7 cents actually down. So it's a tax rate change, a reduction of 8.2%.
Okay. I'll second that motion, okay. Okay, Art, do you have any questions or comments? Okay, Linda, do you have any questions or comments?
No.
I don't have any questions or comments at this time. Megan, do you have any questions or comments?
No.
Beth, do you have any questions or comments? Okay, let's call the vote.
Director Medrano? Director Fox?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Dubel?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Let's have it.
Okay, so
You can
now,
actually take D and E together if you'd like, Madam
yes,
President.
okay, so now what we're gonna do is, are we going to have to authorize the date of the public hearing?
Yes, ma'am, so we'll need to pick out a date that's gonna work for the board.
And this has to be before the 15th or whatever it is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, if they have to have it by the 15th, that means that we have to have a meeting before the 14th?
Well, we're
15th
also bumping
September.
up against our schedules. I mean, all of our districts that are Williamson County.
I
are
understand
having
it.
the same issue.
We-
So we already have a
we have
meeting
sent-
scheduled for 15.
We essentially have the 12th open, and that's it.
Well, I guess we're having a meeting on the 12th.
Saturday?
That-
Oh, you're looking at September.
September 14th.
September,
Zach's not available.
we
Yeah.
can't do 14th.
September 12th is a Monday?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I can do that.
You prefer it, or you
You
want to
can or
invite
you
the board?
cannot.
He can, he can.
Is this gonna be a regular meeting, you're moving your whole regular meting to that day, or just having your
I would
tax hearing?
recommend, I mean, unless you
Yes.
want to hold two meetings on the
No.
same month, we can just
I
consolidate
will note
everything.
that we will have a very small payment register then,
Okay.
so.
I think we should just have one meeting on the 12th.
I agree.
Okay, so just as an aside, Herb, can we move the IFC meeting back?
We'll have to.
Okay.
But yes, we'll move that to September the 6th. I'll send out that invite in the morning.
Okay. Okay, so,
Are y'all meeting at 5:30?
oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, because we're going to have the public hearing on the tax rate at 5:30.
You can just wrap that into your regular hearing, regular meeting, so
Right.
you don't necessarily need to post them for different times.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you don't, I'm just asking, do
Oh.
you want your regular meeting to be at 5:30 with your tax hearing? Or did you want to schedule it for a different time?
can we do, can we do it start at 6? Do it at, because,
Anytime, you want to do 5:30, 6:30?
Every time y'all
Normal
want.
meeting time, 6:30?
you want to do a 5:30? For the tax, just start the whole thing at 5:30 to get it done and over with? Okay.
Would that help?
I'm just thinking about how we've done it in the past where,
We started a half hour early.
yeah, we just started a half hour early.
That would be 6.
So I'm thinking 6.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Just need
thinking.
a time to put on the notice.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So your motion that you would be looking for, Madam President, would be, one, to call the public hearing for the proposed 2022 tax rate for 6 PM on September 12th, and to authorize McGinnis Lockridge to publish notice of that hearing in compliance with Chapter 49 of the Water Code and 26 of the Tax Code.
And to move, instead of having your regular scheduled meeting, have that special meeting be your monthly meeting, right?
That's part of the motion.
Okay, somebody needs to make a motion.
I so moved.
Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, somebody, whoever got first, Suzanne will figure
Please
out.
forgive me, my hearing.
Yeah, I don't know what was motioned.
So we're gonna have the special meeting, it's gonna be a board meeting and.
Yes, on the 12th,
And Herb, we're moving ours up to the 6th, right?
correct. Okay, you got it all. Okay. We got a second. Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Megan, do you have any questions?
No.
I do not have any questions. Linda, do you have any questions? Art, you've had your questions. Okay, call the vote.
Director McDonald?
Yes.
Director Pop?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Okay. 8F, resolution regarding storage of trash cans in the street. Beth, I think that is your motion. And the only thing I'm going to ask is we got a whole lot of evilese in the front. Can we read just the pertinent parts of it, or do you want us to
Yeah.
have to read all of it?
No, I'll be happy to walk the board through it.
Okay.
So as the board is aware, you do have the authority under the Water Code to contract with and provide municipal solid waste disposal services. And pursuant to that authority, you also have the authority to regulate your customers' use of that service. And the resolution, starting on page 30, provides the recitals to pertinent statute that lays out your authority, and page 31 has the substantive provisions which prohibits the open storage of trash cards, and it provides that users of that service shall store their cards outside of public thoroughfares. And those thoroughfares would include but not be limited to sidewalks, roadways, parks, and other common areas. And that further provides that cards may be placed curbside no more than 24 hours prior to service and left out no more than 24 hours after. And there is a penalty provision for failure to comply. So this will have to be published in a newspaper of general circulation. That's the substance of it.
Okay, so you're not going to force us to read it. Okay. Okay, so would you make a motion, Beth?
Okay, well, here's my question. How much of that do you want me to include in that? Do you want me to
Just
say
a-
24 hours? Do you want me to include-
No,
Okay.
just a motion to approve the resolution, get y'all there.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the resolution of the trash cans out of public thoroughfares and out of sidewalks, roadways, parks, and other common areas.
Okay, I'll second that. I'm going to start with Art. Do you have any questions?
So what prompted this resolution?
What prompted this resolution is a concerted effort to leave your trash cans in the street. A large volume of houses decided that they didn't have to bring them in, they didn't have, that instead of putting them, following their deed that says they have to be out of view, I'll just leave it in the street 7 days a week. So that's what started that.
Did we pinpoint the area? I mean,
It was all over. Yes, all over.
No, I don't have any.
Okay, Linda, do you have any questions?
I do have a comment. The resolution failed to include Chapter 54.205 of the Texas Water Code, which identifies what district rules can be used for. There's 5 very specific things. All of them relate to water or sanitary sewer or land that this MUD owns and operates or controls. The district does not own, operate, or control the streets in Williamson or Travis County, and trash cans at the curb do not impact water or sanitary sewer systems. Adopting rules or regulations beyond the scope of authority granted by 54205 is an abuse of power. The MUD has no authority beyond what the legislature gives it. This board has no authority to impose a rule about trash cans that do not impact water, sewer, or the land controlled by the district. I am a data-driven decision maker, and any claims of facts, as outlined in the resolution, need to be demonstrated or it's simply not true. Specifically, that a plastic trash can left at the curb for more than 24 hours becomes a health or safety hazard that the district feels they need to protect people from. That's just nonsense. There is no data to support the claim or that there is a problem in the district that requires intervention by the government for the people. I asked 3 months ago when I was on the Waste Management Committee that the first step towards getting what you want is to educate the constituency and hope for compliance. No effort has been made to educate the public. No notice on the water bill, no posting on the district's website, no portable sign rolling around to inform and educate. These resources are no-cost solutions to a perceived problem and the first step in achieving change. The lack of action led to the creation of the Trash Can Brigade, a group of volunteers that pull carts off the street and collect data about the perceived problem. The data demonstrates there is no problem to solve. Less than 0.5% of all the trash carts in the entire district have been on the street longer than 24 hours after the pickup. And many of those belong to vacant properties where the final act of the last resident was to put the trash out. There are only 3 properties out of 1,900 in this district that have had brigade services on 2 occasions. Not one property has had a 3-time offender over the course of 9 weeks. This real data demonstrates the statements of facts are not facts at all. I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
There's a group of people in the district who drive every Wednesday morning and move trash cans. So they're
They took a data analysis?
literally capturing every resident or every address and the number of trash cans we move on a weekly basis.
Okay.
So your thought is we shouldn't have a resolution?
You don't need a resolution, you need to educate people.
Okay. My comment is that I'm glad to hear that the problem has been resolved once it became apparent that we were going to act. But trust me, we need to have let me start over. It is unfortunate that the acts of a few people forced us to have to make a resolution because I don't think anybody thinks it's unreasonable to take your trash can out of the street after the trash after it has been serviced. Okay, Megan, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just have a couple. First, since we've been accused again of violating state law, can we please have some clarification for the public record on that, Mr. Evans?
Yes, ma'am. 54203.
205.
54203 of the Texas Water Code is specific to municipal utility districts, and it very much clearly and explicitly authorizes the district to enter into services providing municipal solid waste disposal services. Section 49 also provides authority for the district to impose municipal solid waste disposal services under 49213. It is absolutely not illegal. It is not any kind of distortion of law. Ms. Fobb is absolutely incorrect.
That's not what Ms. Fobb said.
You just got done saying
I
that
said
no.
205 doesn't allow you to use district
I
rules
mean,
this way.
do you ever just stop and listen to somebody talk? Ever?
I do. I listen to
You
you.
didn't even let me finish my sentence.
I did.
I'm done talking.
Okay.
Anything else, Ms. Jones?
I just want to say that it is something that can cause children to be hurt because you cannot see them. Linda, can you do it without talking?
I am not talking.
But you're making a lot of faces and very cruel.
Nothing
But the
prevents
other
me
thing
from
that I
making
like to
faces.
say is that there are people that are not happy with people going on their property picking up trash cans. So please be very considerate because we are getting phone calls. So please, please, as you just said that you were a part of that brigade.
Yes.
You just announced that.
Yes.
But you know as a board member that you cannot go on people's properties.
Well, there's nothing, what makes you think we're on people's properties? And I
I
believe
know
there's an
for a fact
outstanding
that you've
open
been on
records
people's
request.
properties
There's an
for-
outstanding open records request for
Ms. Jones
that.
has the floor.
Well, I'm trying to answer
I
her
am on the
question.
DRC committee. We are getting phone calls that there are people walking up on people's driveways with trash cans that have not had permission to walk on their property. So please be respectful of that. Because that is phone calls that we're paying for to take care of that we do not need to do because they have not been asked to pick up someone's trash can. Thank you.
It's part of the base fee. It's not additional
There's a
service.
vote before.
Okay, yeah,
there's a
so-
motion
How
before.
does that work then, when someone's on someone's property or not supposed to? And we are getting phone
It's
calls.
criminal trespass, once that person's been given notice. I'd encourage anybody who's concerned about somebody coming onto their property without permission to call the police, take pictures of that person who's trespassing on their property. Once they've been warned and then they do it again, that constitutes criminal trespass. It can be punishable anywhere from a Class C misdemeanor up to, I think, a Class A, which actually provides jail time.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
Okay. Okay, can we call the vote, please?
Yes. Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Fowle?
I'm going to abstain for the legal reason that I don't believe that district rules can be used this way.
Just as a reminder, your vote will count as a no on the record, Ms. Fobb.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna intervene
Director
here.
Medrano?
4-1, the ayes have it.
Okay, so 8G, engage auditor to complete the district's annual report. So do we have an engagement letter?
Page 32 of your packet.
Okay, can somebody make a motion, please? Okay, I move that we accept the engagement letter. What's the name of our auditor?
Ursula Lockenritter.
Okay. For, to complete the audit for the year ending September 30th, 2022. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Art, do you have any questions?
I do not. Do we know what the, I didn't get to look at that. What's the estimate on that?
17,000, it's gone up 500.
This seems to be the standard rate,
Yeah, that's pretty
500.
much how they go up.
Yeah, okay,
17,
So 17,000.
yeah.
And it was 16,500 this year.
And it was 16 the previous year and 15.5 the previous year, so it's like, okay. Okay. Linda, do you have any questions?
I have a comment.
Okay.
The MUD has used the same auditor for over a decade with an increase in the fee each year except one over the past 5 years. The TCEQ recommends reevaluating server provider contracts at least every 5 years to ensure that the best value is being considered by the district. Maxwell Lock and Ritter do not audit for fraudulent billing practices or embezzlement because it is not in the scope or objectives of their engagement letter. They are only looking for material misstatements of the financial picture. That is not a problem in this district. Michael keeps excellent records. They will not express an opinion or provide any assurance on the information because the limited procedures they use for this type of audit does not provide sufficient evidence to express an opinion or provide any assurance. The problem is with contractors billing outside of their contract terms, or billing for services covered in their base fee, or billing for services performed for other districts. Those are the reoccurring errors in this district, and of course, using public funds for personal self-interests. Identifying this type of activity in the books requires a forensic auditor who reads contracts along with examining invoices and following money trails. The audit from Maxwell Lock and Ritter is not due for another 6 months, which allows ample time to take proposals from other firms offering more detailed services. The district needs a forensic auditor who can perform the material look at the financial statements and also do a deep dive into what's been happening in this district for at least the last 8 years.
Point of fact, I would note that your present auditor, as all of the auditors do, always ask about fraud and will follow up if they believe that the fraud will change materially the financial information. That is part of their scope. They're not going to chase fraud that is not material to the reporting of the financial documents. And that's all. I just want to clarify that point.
So you agree that they do not chase down people who are billing outside of the contract terms, which is also fraud?
Mr. Luft, I would encourage you not to comment on another contractor's, another consultant's contract.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I do state, though, that I do want to clarify that they ask us about fraud every year.
Noted.
So.
Okay. I don't have any comments or questions. Megan, do you have any questions?
Is there anything in our rules of order about accusing the district of, and the other directors of crimes?
Yes, I forget the exact verbiage, but yeah, there is essentially a section that prohibits directors from making baseless accusations against other directors. I'm paraphrasing here. We can go to chapter and verse if you like.
Please. I just heard an accusation that we're committing fraud, so I take that pretty seriously as it's on the public record.
Would you like to make a motion to put Ms. Fobb on notice that she has violated the rules of procedure?
Yes, I would like to make
Is there a
that
second on that motion?
I will second that motion.
Suzanne, call a vote, please. I'll save you some pen strokes. Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Dudo?
Yes.
Ms. Frankie?
Yes.
Ms. Fobb?
No.
Mr. Madrano? Yes. All right, let the record show that Ms. Fobb has been warned once for failing to comply with the board's rules of order. A second infraction would warrant her removal from the meeting should the board see fit.
Okay. Okay, we still have to have a vote on the 8G, which is the engagement of the auditor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so.
Director Jones? Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Cobb?
No.
Director Madrano?
Okay, so then we've already taken care of 8H, and the next on is 8I, which is review of Sage Management billing.
Madam President, I'm going to exit the room while we're having this discussion. We'll leave Suzanne available to take notes, but I'm not going to be participating in this section of the
Okay,
meeting.
I understand what you're going to say. Sit for 30 seconds. That's all I'm going to ask. I'm gonna ask that we move this to the September meeting because there was a miscommunication between Linda and myself. I'll just take it all. I kept looking for the documents, whatever this subject is about, and I couldn't find them. So I haven't seen any of them. I was expecting them to be someplace where they weren't. So. I'm just going to ask that we just move this agenda item to put it on the September meeting.
And does that affect anything?
I don't know what the agenda item is about, since I haven't seen any of the documentation that she has put together, because this was her agenda item. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what it's about, so let's just move it to the next meeting. That's all I'm saying.
Given that it's Ms. Fobb's agenda item, Ms. Fobb, are you amenable to that suggestion, or would you like to?
I would like to know
would
if
you like
any
to
of the other board directors were unable to see the shared file on,
I'm sorry, let me just rephrase.
Yeah.
Since it's your agenda item, would you like the board to deliberate on it tonight?
well, I'd really like Catherine to look at the data, but I need to understand where the breakdown was on the shared file.
I'm just gonna rephrase.
So no, I don't have any objections to moving it to the September
Okay,
meeting.
that's what I needed to know. That's what I needed.
But if there's a technology problem, I need to know that.
Right, okay, so for me, I kept looking, because it was an agenda item, I kept looking for it on the part, on the folder for the board, in the board meetings, and I kept expecting it to be in there. You know what I'm talking about, Mackenzie, right? There's a folder
Yeah,
on the
we
shared
talked about
drive.
those folders, yeah.
Okay, so I would have assumed that you would have had it in a folder specifically for that agenda item?
Well, I didn't know if there was a folder for me to use, so I created a shared folder, and I
Okay.
shared it with everyone on this board, including Zach and Suzanne. So my question is, was anyone else able to open that shared folder? Yeah, see, he's looking at it right there.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but it's okay, I want you to look at the data before I talk about it, so if
Right.
you want to move it to next month, I
Yeah.
don't have an issue with that.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it's not going to change the facts.
Okay, okay. So, so just put that on the agenda for next month.
That doesn't count as one of my agenda items, does it, Zach?
What does, I guess I don't follow the
in
question.
You're only allowed to put 2 items on the agenda, at least I'm only allowed to put 2
That's-
items on the agenda.
When did I tell you that you specifically could only have 2 agenda items?
No, that's what it says in the rules, and then when I tried to add some for this month, you
That's
told
right.
me
And my
no,
response to you was what?
you didn't want a marathon meeting.
That's right. And so I'd be happy to accommodate your agenda items, as I have always been very clear about. I will always make sure your agenda items are placed on there.
So I'm asking you a specific question. Is this counting as one of the 2 agenda items
Yes.
I'm going to be allowed in
Yes.
September?
Okay,
Then I don't want to wait then.
Okay? Then the board can open debate.
what does that mean?
If Ms. Fobb would like to bring up her agenda item and discuss it tonight, that's her prerogative, it's her agenda item. You have 3 minutes, Ms. Fobb.
Thank you. In October of 2021, the board voted for Bill Flickinger to review a full year of Sage Management invoices due to constant demonstrations of not adhering to the contract terms. He did not do it and claimed he didn't have time when he was fired in February of 2022. Zach Evans, our current attorney, can't do it because he has a recorded conflict of interest because he is also Sage Management's personal lawyer, and my understanding is he wrote their contract. I have had several conversations with residents since last month's meeting and my censure regarding what I see that makes me believe that these billing practices are fraudulent. Specific conversations centered around Sage Management's billing practices because of the DRC Committee's proposed 72% pay increase in June in my 18 months of evaluating their performance against the documents that describe their services. Following the advice of Special Counsel for Public Information given to us by Bob Heath, I told them they could ask for the information I used in my assessment of Sage Management's performance, including my work papers, that leads me to believe that they have trampled on the rights of residents by sending letters for items that are not a violation of the deed, which generates billing for letters that should not have been sent and results in personal financial gain for Sage Management. This is just one example. There are many other examples of personal financial gain identified throughout that invoice file. Absent are the additional service forms required from the committee that justifies the expenses they alone are approving outside of the public's view. The limit is $200 per month for any additional deed services, which have been exceeded almost every single month since I began monitoring this contractor's performance. I've made available to the board a full 18 months of invoices from Sage Management that demonstrates this contractor is in breach of their contract and billing outside of their contract terms and outside of the controls put in place to protect the people of this district from an abusive power situation and the protection of the public purse. The controls failed because the contractor performs for a committee and not with the full consent of the board. The most volatile, highly subjected of all MUD activities is being done outside of the public's view and exclusively by committee. The contract doesn't allow for that, and the water code requires the district to be run by its board, not by a committee. So you haven't looked at the data other than the letters that I was sending every single month until your contractor started withholding those letters from me. And now the invoices have changed considerably in the month of June and July, don't even include service dates. This contractor is in breach of their contract, and there is no question about that. That's irrefutable. The evidence is now in the public domain because it was requested under open records. So now...
Time's up.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
And we need Zach for a legal opinion. We need a legal opinion because it is my understanding that once you are made aware of a situation like this, if you do nothing about it, you're complicit. Is that true? Do we have a lawyer in the room?
No, we don't have a lawyer in the room.
So I have to wait till Zach comes back
Okay.
to give you that legal opinion.
So Catherine, she brought up fraud again. She's claiming that there's been fraud again. So can we please have her removed, which is exactly what Zach asked?
If it is not true,
It is not true.
it is
So can
demonstrable.
we please make a motion to have her removed for the meeting tonight? Because we cannot keep telling people in the public that there's been fraud when there's not been.
No, see,
And
I don't
that's
believe...
exactly what Zach just asked us to do. She did it again, so can we please make a motion to have her removed?
it is
You cannot
demonstrable.
You cannot do that.
No.
There is no fraud, and you cannot keep saying
It
that.
is-
You've done it twice in that
If
letter.
you bill
So
outside
please,
of your
let's stop.
contract terms,
Stop,
you breach
stop,
your contract
stop.
for personal
Okay,
financial gain.
Stop.
Dad leaves the room for 2 minutes.
I know, it's
Yes.
like...
Okay.
And it was
So-
fraud. So I'm
So
asking
has
that
Ms.
you
Fogg made an
please-
accusation that
Yes.
members of the
Yes.
board have committed fraud?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't say the members of the board. Not at all. I said the contractor is billing outside of their contract terms, is in
You
breach
are-
of their contract.
So,
You
Ms.
are...
Ms.
Personal
if I can,
financial
if I
gain.
can, Ms.
I need
Ms.
some
Frankie,
water.
if I
Not
can-
right to do that.
So, Ms. Frank, if you would, just indulge me for just 2 seconds.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna need some water.
Fix this real quick, as soon as you get back.
And if it's a true statement, and everyone is aware, the legal question was, are you culpable if you do nothing about it?
There has been an indication by one or more board members while I stepped out that Ms. Fobb accused one or more individuals of illegal activity. She has been warned tonight once to refrain from making such remarks. Therefore, it is up to a vote of this board to decide whether or not she shall be ejected from the meeting for disrupting the procedures of the board. If there is a motion, now is the time to make that motion.
I will make that motion that we cannot use the word fraud.
I'm sorry, Ms. Jones, let me rephrase. The question before the board tonight is whether the board wishes to have Ms. Fobb removed for failure to adhere to the rules of order that this board has adopted.
Yes.
Ms. Jones has made the motion. Is there a second?
I will second that.
Ms. Frankie has made a second. Ms. Jones, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Dudo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Frankie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Fobb, how do you vote?
I vote no.
Mr. Medrano, how do you vote? Yes. The ayes have it. Ms. Fobb, please leave the meeting.
Okay.
This is why the board needs to be received.
Well, I'd like to ask a question. Can I ask a question? When are we going to review this? Because we're making a statement.
We had an attorney, a board vote for those records to be reviewed, and it hasn't
Okay.
been done.
Okay, we're going to move to
Good luck.
8J. which is a communications policy.
That was Ms. Bob's agenda item.
Oh, was it?
Yes,
Tells you
ma'am.
what to do.
Okay. Agenda item 9.
I'm sorry, K. There should be a K.
Yeah, you're working on the old agenda like.
Oh. Oh, okay. That's a good thing. Okay, so the rate order. Who's got the rate order?
So there's a copy of it on the shared drive, but as a reminder, Mackenzie and I discussed this prior to the meeting.
She did too. She
Okay.
She started it, I then carried it on.
Thank you.
I don't want you to think that it was just me.
Thank you, yeah. So if y'all recall, the board reviewed and made some significant revisions to the rate order a few months back. One of the items that we did not address was occasions when the district has to send Infomark or a subcontractor out to a residence at the resident's request, or otherwise to identify the location or purpose of a leak, essentially. Previously, your rate order capped the amount that the district could recoup for those expenses at $250. So the revised rate order as presented simply states that the resident who requests that service, and if they've found to if the problem was on their side of the meter, the resident side of the meter, then they have to make the district whole, essentially,
Right.
for all expenses. Am I
Right.
misstating anything there, Mackenzie?
You got it right.
Catherine,
Right.
that all sounds accurate?
Right.
That was the gist
That was
of
the
that.
only change.
Yeah. Okay. I move that we adopt the rate order as presented. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay. Do you have any comments or questions? Okay. The only thing I'm going to say is, when we redid the rate order, was it May or June or
Yes,
May?
ma'am, I think so.
I attempted to make a wholesale change where instead of the rate fees that we charged back to the residents were some static fee, that it would reflect what the actual fee, the cost to the district. So this was just one that got missed.
We talked about it multiple times.
Yes. So it was the intent to make this change last May, but it just got missed in the draft change. So, okay, Megan, do you have any questions?
No,
And Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, can we call the question, please?
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Okay, now we can go to 9. Okay, and so we have a whole bunch of stuff as it relates to the upcoming election.
Yes, ma'am, and it is with great relief and satisfaction that I hand this over to my right hand, Ms. McCullough, to walk us through these matters.
So the first item before the board would be the order calling your election. That's included in the packet we provided on page 68.
And just as a reminder, directors, your supplemental agenda is included in your packet. It's page 4. We have to provide that in Spanish, and that's the reason we do a supplemental agenda.
Right, okay. Okay, so keep talking.
I just need a motion to approve the order calling your election for November 8th,
Give me
2022.
a motion. Yeah.
I motion to approve the election on November 8th, 2022.
Okay, I'll second that. Beth, do you have any discussion?
I do not.
Megan, do you have any discussion?
No.
I don't have any discussion. Do you have any discussion? Okay, let's call it.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes,
Director Duda? Yes. Director Jones?
Yes.
okay.
Okay. Also included in your packet is a key dates memorandum that just lists out the dates that are important. Some of the dates that will be important to you are when you're actually going to canvass the election afterwards, so we'll have to actually meet during those time periods. And then item B are the contracts for election services. In your board packet is the contract with Travis County. It's a joint election contract, and the election for election services. If you could approve both of those and the one with Williamson County, they haven't provided theirs yet. They won't provide it until next month. But your order authorizes the signature and approval of all your contracts. So you just
Okay.
need a motion to approve those contracts.
Okay, I'll do this one. I move that we approve the election and joint election contracts with Williamson and Travis counties. Could I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay. This is really simple. Can we all raise our hands and say aye? Okay. Okay. 9C.
And you need a motion to designate McGinnis as the agent to the secretary for maintaining your mandatory office hours.
Okay. Megan, I'll let you have that one.
Oh, I wasn't ready. Motion to designate McGinnis as secretary to the board to maintain mandatory election office hours.
Okay. I'll second that one. Can we all raise our hands and say aye? Okay.
My job here is done.
Okay. Okay, and it looks like Herb, you're up.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. I do not know what page the report is actually on.
It's not in a page number, it's in his folder if you want to go access the engineering folder.
I haven't figured out the,
It's all 21st century.
I know, I haven't figured out Google whatever yet. Let's see, all right, so within our packet, you'll find the meeting notes from the infrastructure committee meeting that we had on August the 9th. We, as requested, we solicited proposals to do a revised scope of the DG trail maintenance at the ponds. What the board and the committee came down to was looking at doing the repairs at Hatch Detention Pond and London Lane Detention Pond. Of those three proposals, the low bid on that was from Westar Construction in the amount of $39,615, and that is to do both of the ponds. And I believe the infrastructure was going to request consideration of that tonight.
Okay. So, can you make that motion, Art?
Give me the amount again, Kurt.
$39,615.
And this is in budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the contractor is
Westar.
Construction.
Yeah.
I can't find the file, that's why. I'm old school, man.
Hey, I'm with you, I'm with you.
I know, okay, so I move that we approve the amount of $39,616. Is that what it was?
15.
15.
15.
And what's whatever the change is,
Yeah.
to Westar Construction for the sidewalk,
The granite trail
the granite trail, sorry.
Yeah.
at Hatch and London Lane.
What?
At Hatch and London Lane. Right, yeah.
Whatever.
I
Kathy
will second that. Okay. So, Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, Megan, do you have any questions?
Yeah, two questions. When do we expect for the work to actually be done? Will it be billed by the end of the fiscal year, or is this something that's going to flow into the next fiscal year?
It could cross over depending upon materials right now, but I haven't had that conversation with them yet to see what availability is.
Okay, so,
Ideally, we get it done by the end of September.
okay.
That would be good.
And then the second question is, so I think we budgeted 80 this year. I'm so glad we found someone who could do it for somewhat reasonable. Is there any reason why the infrastructure committee decided not to do more ponds since we have 80,000 in the budget?
We started with 2 because of the amount of the original proposal for all of the pond work. So we broke down 2 to decide to see where we could go, what the prices are looking like. And then the idea was that next year we pick up the rest of the ponds. And I believe in that budget item, it's either staying at 80 or going to 100. I don't remember what I told you, Mike.
I thought it was staying at 80.
It's staying at 80.
Okay, so it's staying 80 next year as well. And we should be able to do the next 2 ponds within that.
Okay, you think 2 more?
Remind me again, this 39K was just one phase of it, right? It'll be for London Lane or the?
Well, for phasing, for this 39,615 will take care of the trails at London Lane and Hatch Pond, as far as where we're seeing deterioration and needing to.
That's the ones we determined needed it, that Those are the ones that were critical, right?
Right, and then next year we were looking at the Andersonville West Pond, which is substantial. There's a lot of work over on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Beth, did you have, I started with Beth, right? I'm sorry. I don't have any questions. Do you have any more questions?
I do not.
Can we call the vote, please?
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and then the last item on my notes, and unfortunately this note was a carryover from last month, and we didn't actually discuss this, and I forgot exactly what the address was on the call, but we've got 2 locations of sidewalk that are heaving, where the trees are actually creating the issue that are within the right of way. So in those situations, historically, and in this, we're going to request it, that the board have an arborist come out and actually will meet with the contractor, pull the concrete out, and let them make a recommendation of what can or can't be done to not impact that tree as least as amount as we can. So, and I would expect that to be a not to exceed of $1,500 to have them come out and participate in that.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do we have a arborist?
do we need to make a recommendation? No?
I'm asking some questions first. Do we have an arborist that we wanted to work with, or would the Parks Committee like to recommend a specific arborist?
Well, we worked with Legacy to do the other work in the district this year.
Okay.
So as long as we're happy with them, which
Okay.
I am, we could use them.
Okay.
If you would send me their information, I'll reach out to them.
Okay.
Mackenzie, would you?
Just a point of clarification, so is the intent to engage them between now and the next time the board meets, or to come back
Yes.
with that proposal?
No, the IFC is going to request a not to exceed amount of $1,500, so we can get an arborist to come out and do this before the next meeting.
Okay, I just want to make sure, so
Yeah.
we can get a vote,
Yeah, right.
to that effect.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I move that we engage an arborist in an amount not to exceed $1,500 to provide consultation to prevent harm to trees during a sidewalk repair.
Lessen.
To lessen the impact,
damage,
okay.
yes.
So how many?
We've got 2 locations.
For 2 locations,
Yeah, both
okay,
at the same address on location.
okay. Okay, can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, so Beth, do you have any questions about this?
No, I think it's great that you're doing it. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Megan, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, and my comment is there's money still left in the sidewalk budget, and then after we do this consultation, then the hope is that we'll use the remaining money to fix the sidewalks in these 2 locations.
Yes, and that'll be assumption of a carryover.
Okay,
And you've also carried the same budget on the sidewalks for next year as well. So
okay, okay,
you've still got the money there.
okay. Art, do you have any more questions? Okay, can you call the vote, please?
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
Well, wait a minute. Somebody could have said no. I mean, we really didn't have a choice about the elections, you know?
Just giving you a hard time.
If you've got no other questions, then my check is signed. That's it.
And there are probably 2.
Spoken like a true lawyer, Herb.
Okay, hold on. Here, you sign while I talk. How about that?
I'm next.
Yes, Mackenzie, you're next.
All right, so you want to go to your manager's report folder, scroll down to about page 11, you'll see your executive summary. First item on our list is the DeGama lift station generator needs some repairs. We've actually had to get this quote redone a few times now just because of us going past the 30-day mark. So if you want to scroll down in your packet, just past the executive summary, you'll see on page 16 and 15,
Two quotes. One is for fixing the drift, the switch that causes the drift down. There's a voltage issue on that, and then the additional one is to repair the transfer switch.
Okay, page 6, so 2625, is that was the amount?
No, I'm sorry. It's total amount together for the two of them is $4,290.
Okay.
So I have several other items. If y'all want to just approve them all together at the end, Zach, is that okay? So they can just, okay, cool.
Okay.
Parks Committee, one of the fans at Andersonville West Pavilion is broke, one of the newer ones.
One of the what?
The newer ones, the big cage ones.
The fans?
Correct.
Okay.
They had to take it down because it wasn't working and found ribbons strewn up inside of it that you could not see unless you took the fan off. So the motor just died down from having ribbon from whomever's party from a balloon, I'm sure, gets stuck up inside of it. So the proposals we have in the packet, one is to replace that fan, and the other is for some maintenance work that we worked with M&C on. They came out and took care of it. The reason why the actual proposal does state $744 before tax is because they chose to do the work without board approval. So after having a discussion with them, I've negotiated only paying 50% of that because they did not follow suit. So.
Oh, I wish Linda could have heard that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The total amount for that one is $1,172 between replacing the broken fan and half of $744. Your last item for approval on the executive summary is for, if I can get my thing to scroll properly, your 12 user licenses that you pay for through Google are up for your renewal. It's $864. There's a proposal in here for that as well. So just asking for you guys to approve the 3 items on the executive summary.
Okay, I have a question about the Google licenses. 12, is that 12 active licenses?
No, it's 12 total. You have to keep your old ones active. Well, not active. You have to keep paying for their user license even though their accounts are inactive.
Right, okay, so
that's for your biggest
basically,
directors.
every time you get new directors, we're gonna have to start increasing that.
Correct, but I actually spoke with Suzanne a little bit about this. What we're gonna attempt to do once we can get things straight on how to do this is data export all of their information, which you can do, but it takes up to 14 days from Google to get it to you for your previous directors, and then cut their licenses, because you will no longer need them and you'll have a data file of everything. But it just means you'll have to hold on to that because you historically have to keep the records.
Right. It takes, so we're requesting.
We're going to do a data export through Google, but due to the file size of the email accounts, it says it can take up to 14 days.
To download?
For them to send me the files.
Oh, okay, so they're going to do it for you, and you're going to physically receive it on a disk or something.
They're going to send me an email or a downloadable file somehow, some way. That's how they do it.
Okay. Versus us just doing
Keep paying for user licenses that are no longer being used.
Okay, that's fine. Glad I asked the questions. Okay.
So as of now, it is $864. This should go down next year, so you won't be paying for full 12 licenses once we get that data export. So if you want to do a total approval, I don't know how you want to do this, Zach.
Okay.
Just approve the executive summary of the manager's report, would approve those items. Last on your list that you don't necessarily have to approve is your CCR, your Consumer Confidence Report. It is located starting on page 17. No anomalies to note. Everything was in compliance. You see this annually. We submit this to TCEQ and our compliance department takes care of it. So nothing to note there. We do present it every year for you guys to view, and we typically put it on the website for residents to view as well.
Okay, so
I think you can make a motion to approve the executive summary of the manager's report, and Zach will suffice with
Couldn't have
that.
put it better myself.
Okay, somebody make a motion.
Motion to approve the executive summary of the manager's report.
Okay, I'll second that. Okay, Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Megan, do you have any questions? No. My only comment is, can you, as it relates to the manager's report, can you correct the committee assignments? Because Linda is still showing up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And Art, you're next.
Okay. Signing checks, so tell me what,
So, okay,
Google
so.
Drive?
It's, you're renewing your licenses through Google, and
Okay.
you're approving the DeGama lift station generator repairs and approving the fan repairs and maintenance done for the Anderson Mill West Pavilion.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the Google Workspace, right? The one that we
It
negotiate.
doesn't have to do with the actual access. You pay licenses and you pay an annual fee for access. They don't hit on the same time every year. So you have to pay a certain amount per year for your licenses and a certain amount for access every
We
year.
need that many licenses?
As of now, until we can do a data download and then get rid of the previous board members, yes, because you have to maintain those records.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. We need to call the question.
Ready?
Yeah.
Director Mazzano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Vito?
Yeah. I have 3 comments to make. I promise I will be brief. Your water dependability is at 94%. And TCEQ has sent us a letter letting us know that we no longer owe them anything on the compliance of your MS4. It still shows pending status, but the letter we received says that we're good to go. We don't owe them anything. We received that on the 16th. And then last but not least is the 2 commercial meter repairs that you were making have been completed.
Okay. Okay, so my question is, so have we completed all of the tasks?
That's 1 left. We have a 1-inch meter we're waiting on to come in, and all of yours will be done.
Okay, so do we think there's any correlation between these fixes and the
Possibly, because we fixed several leaks that we found prior to getting these meters in. I think that you should see the number go up because the meters didn't get repaired until about a week and a half ago. So.
Okay, that's fabulous. Yeah, really fabulous. Okay. Okay, so, agenda item 12, committees. Parks Committee, Megan and Beth, you're on.
Okay, the first item is the adoption of the 2022 park plan. And I actually have here tonight a member of our advisory committee who's going to speak on behalf of both the Parks Committee and the greater advisory committee.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Carol Norrell. I'm a resident of Valenti Hills, and I'm a member of the Park Planning Advisory Committee. I am here this evening on behalf of the full committee and to recommend to the board tonight to adopt the 2022 park plan as presented. The draft that you see there before you this evening, it has a few changes from the version that you saw in June. The changes were made based on the feedback we received on the draft plan. You should have a document there, and certainly if there are questions at some point, but the changes were mostly for the purpose of clarification, and no substantial changes were made to the 5-year implementation plan. In all, the planning process really took about 18 months to come to fruition, and the primary goals were really to engage and interact with the community so that the residents could participate in defining the future of our park systems. Also, part of the goal was to develop a realistic implementation strategy to ensure that future projects are aligned with resources available, and then to align budgeting for parks with the community's desires and outcomes.
Sorry, ma'am. Mr. Flores, pick that up. It's leaking. Pick it up. It's leaking, or you will be asked to leave the meeting. Which one do you want to do? I'm sorry, ma'am.
I'm sorry,
so
that's all right. I thought it was mine.
Did he pick it? I know that you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I trust you'll find a piece of paper to clean it up. I'm sorry. Continue, ma'am.
Yes, thank you
So
so
sorry.
much. That's quite all right. But I was saying to you, it took about 18 months for all this overall plan, this planning. And then the goals were really, I think, very realistic in that we were wanting to engage and interact with the community so that the residents could participate and be a part of this in the future of our park systems. We wanted to develop a realistic implementation strategy to ensure that the future projects would align with the resources that are available. Then also align budgeting along with that to seek these outcomes for the park system. With the, with the help of our planning consultant, Verdundity, and thanks to the input of the hundreds of residents over the last 18 months, the committee is satisfied. We are satisfied that we have achieved these three goals. And we have delivered a planning document that will help guide the board in decision-making over the next 5 years. And we, the committee, we want to thank you for your consideration of this park plan that has been presented to you. I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Be careful, there's water on the floor.
Okay, so, can I, Megan, do you want to make a motion?
Motion to adopt the 2022 park plan as presented.
Okay. Can I have a second? Okay. Art, do you have any questions?
I do not. Good job.
Yes, I am, and I was really happy to hear when Carol was talking about how many people participated in the creation of this plan. Megan, do you have any more comments?
No, I thanked the advisory committee last meeting, but I'll do so again. Thank you, Carol, for coming tonight and speaking on behalf of the committee. They worked really hard.
Okay. And Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay.
Done a great job. Thank you.
Okay. Can we call the question, please?
Yes, Director Medrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, keep going.
Oh, yes, still me. Okay, let's see. Number 2, okay, so this is a proposal for movies in the park equipment. Mackenzie, is that in your manager's?
It's not in the manager's report because it was covered under a separate item, so there's if you look at movies in the park estimate in your Parks Committee folder, there is the document, and it's the estimate we received from the open air cinema.
Which folder?
In the Parks Committee folder, there's a document titled Movies in the Park.
Yes, right here. There we go.
That is the estimate Megan will be talking about.
Yeah, so through the park planning process, so this would actually be the first thing we would be implementing as part of the newly adopted park plan. One of the things that came out of public input in the park planning process was interest in having more events in the park. Specifically, number one that everyone seemed to want was the movies in the park. So we researched different park movie equipment kits, and this is the one that we decided seemed to meet all of our needs and was a reasonable cost. And so it comes with everything you need to do the movies. It comes with the inflatable screen, it comes with the sound system, it comes with a kind of smart box that you can stream things to and plug things in, and even use discs, I think, if you want. So it's kind of like the whole kit wrapped in one. And so the cost is $5,999.
Okay. Okay, so make a motion so we can start asking questions.
Okay, and I guess with shipping, that brings the total to $6,291.20. So motion to approve the proposal from Open Air Cinema for the amount of $6,291.20.
Could I have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, so Art, do you have any questions?
Well, I'm reading through this. So it's an inflatable screen, and then it can be, I guess, deflated and carried in somewhere, right?
Yeah. No, Art, we're going to
So it's not a permanent
your
structure.
house.
You're retired, you have room now.
Okay. So it's not a permanent structure like they have at
No.
It's movable.
This Moulton or
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Melbourne, no.
Okay. Oh, looks good.
Okay, so my questions are, because we're going with a movable system, is it the idea is that Valente Hills HOA could have a movies in the park in their park if they wanted to do that, and then they would just borrow it from us? And we're gonna have a whole process created in terms of how we handle that, and, Anderson Mill West could sponsor one in the park on El Salito, or Hunter's Glen could do something in Sunchase. Is that the path that we're on?
That's entirely a board decision, and initially, it had been conceived of that way when we were thinking of doing the sort of pop-up block party kit.
Okay.
There was going to be a movie kit as part of that, so we could absolutely set it up that way.
This is just a step in that direction.
Yeah, the parks, the Parks Committee could work on putting together whatever we need to put together in order to make that happen.
Okay. Okay, really glad to hear it. Okay, Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Should we call the question?
Director Jones?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Madrano?
Yes.
Okay, 12A3, proposal for resurfacing for Sunchase Park.
So the Parks Committee is going to recommend Fundabounds for this because they can conclude the project much sooner than TFRP.
Okay, Fundabounds, here we go. Okay.
So you'll see in the packet when you click on it, the total price, and they vary very minimally. I think it's less than $600 between the two. Fundabounds is slightly more expensive. However, TFRP is taking out in November currently.
Okay.
So they would like to run with Fundabounds for this
Okay.
project, as they said they could get it completed within likely several weeks. So.
Okay.
So within this fiscal year.
Yeah, possibly. He said he thinks he has a crew that could do it within a couple of weeks, and it would take him no more than I think he said 3 days.
Okay,
We're
so,
going with funds abound?
Fundabounds.
okay, so can we have a proposal? I'll make a motion, please.
Yeah, motion to approve the Fundabounds proposal to resurface Sunchase Park
13.7.
for the amount of $13,700. Yes.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I'm gonna go first and ask questions. I'm not quite following what we mean by resurface.
So the pea gravel that's currently there needs to be removed before a new playscape can be put in, and that is because ADA requirements require you to have certain barriers, certain access points, and a certain surface, and pea gravel is no longer ADA compliant, and you cannot put anything on top of it, it has to be removed.
Okay, so all of that pea gravel is going to be removed.
And then you're gonna have the same barrier, the
Okay.
plastic barriers with chipped wood in there.
Okay. Do we have a proposal for something to go in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The short answer is we're kind of going a non-conventional route for what we're looking at putting in there, so that
Okay.
it really fits with the character of that park.
Okay.
Something along the lines of Treehouse. And so the companies that we found that can do that sort of thing don't do the resurfacing, so we're having to
Okay.
step by step it a little bit.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, do we have any idea as to how much pea gravel?
Mike went out there himself and took a look at it. I don't have any idea.
I'm just
And I don't necessarily know that they do either because it's been dispersed further and further out the more it's been walked on and used, so.
Okay,
We'll see what
well,
we find.
the only reason I bring it up is I remember we paid a lot of $50,000 to get rid of the pea gravel.
Long ago.
Yeah. It was an unexpected cost because it was like.
Yeah, that was excessive. $50,000.
Okay, Megan, you have any more comments?
No.
Did I ask a question? Did you ask me?
Oh, no, did you, okay.
I'm sorry, you probably mentioned it, but I didn't hear you. Why didn't we pick Tia Park?
They can't do the project until, I think they're currently booking November, and that doesn't necessarily mean early November. And they would like to get this project underway with the small difference in the amount. That's the recommendation
It's
on the
only
Parks Committee.
$600 more.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, and Beth, did you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay, can we call the question, please?
Yes. Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Dudo?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Okay, and number 4, signage in the district parks.
This, so this was actually for Lakeline Oaks. It was originally, I think, for last month, which is why the individual's not here tonight. So essentially, Lakeline Oaks wanted to, they have their HOA meetings a couple times a year, a few times a year, and they want to be able to use the parks to advertise their meetings because they have one of those LED movable signs.
Oh, okay.
And so we had to tell them this time around that they couldn't do it because we didn't have board authorization and their meeting was happening soon. So we gave them the option of coming to the board meeting and asking for pre-approval to be able to use the Lakeline Oaks Park to advertise their HOA meetings.
Okay. I fear, okay, so this is, this agenda item is nothing more than giving the Lakeline Oaks HOA authorization moving forward to bring their LED sign in to publicize their meetings.
That's exactly right. And so they would contact Infomark before they did it, let them know the dates that they're planning. It would be for like a single day.
Okay.
And we'll give them a stipulation on you've got to let us know X amount of time in advance because it's we usually have to have 2 techs here, so we'll have somebody come out and help the other tech pull it out.
Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to create to authorize Lakeline Oaks HOA to set up their LED sign to advertise their annual meetings and coordinate with Infomark as such. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Art, do you have any questions?
I cannot.
Okay, I don't have any more questions. Megan, do you have anything to add?
I don't.
Beth, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Okay, can we all just say, raise our hands and say, yeah, yay? Okay. Number 5, parks, facilities, and community center rental policies. Megan?
Okay, so we do have in the Parks Committee folder some proposed amendments to our park rules. So now that the building is open for rental and we have had our new policies and rates in place for several months now, we are having some issues with nonprofits requesting use of the building for extended periods of time, for every weekend, both days every weekend, large groups of people. It's not really what we conceived of when we put the $5 rate in place for nonprofits, kind of an overuse of resources. So we're just proposing some changes to the park rules to address that particular situation. So if you have the document open and you scroll to page 4, so the first thing is we're proposing an increase in price for commercial users, not nonprofit, but commercial. I think the only one that we're doing it both for residents and for non-residents. So $2,000 for residents, $5,000 for non-residents. And again, that's commercial users. Paragraph 5, what was that one? Oh, we can't block, that commercial users can't block off the parking lot or parking spaces for their reserved use. Going down to page 7, the main change there is paragraph E. So for nonprofit reservations of the district building, we're proposing the following. That each nonprofit organization is limited to 35 reservations per calendar year. That nonprofit reservation rates are available to district residents only. Nonprofit reservations are not permitted between 4 p.m. on Friday and 6 p.m. on Sunday. And for nonprofit recurring reservations only, groups larger than 25 people will be considered commercial users. and will be subject to the reservation policy for commercial users.
Okay.
And then if you jump down to page 9, we have, this is for the pavilions. So we added in a provision that people can't have balloons underneath the pavilions anymore for the reason Mackenzie described earlier with the fans getting broken.
Okay.
And then we're limiting nonprofit reservations of the pavilions to 35 reservations per calendar year.
Okay. Okay, so I'll make a motion to adopt the park rules as presented. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions. Other than the issues that we've had with nonprofits sort of taking advantage of the space and using it, have we had any other problems? How are we going? How are things going with tennis instructors, pickleball, that whole thing? How's that working out?
I did recently. I was actually.
She wasn't feeling well.
Okay. If you want to speak to that, Mackenzie, you probably know
We
better.
haven't had a whole lot going on as far as instructors or. We did get a request from a lady, I think it was maybe 2 days ago, to please stripe the basketball court with pickleball lines. There's more of a demand than a ask, but and she's talking about the basketball court here as she feels like it's underused and they're having issues with getting their times, and she was upset that there's stipulations on how far in advance you can book, and so every time she was making a reservation it was canceling, but she wasn't reading the rules where it states you cannot make a reservation it's more than, I think it's 14 days out, because we had people monopolizing the system and just making reservations as far out as they could and booking the courts and then not showing. And then obviously you're not going to see other people there for those time frames. So all in all, there really hasn't been too much. That was the first request we've received in quite a while for any sort of request regarding pickleball or tennis.
Okay. Okay, Art, do you have any questions?
Just out of curiosity, why is the non-resident for commercial use $5,000 for resident?
$5,000 for the building? And that's the deposit?
No, let me read the statement. Commercial users reserving the district building at $1,000 recurring basis must pay upfront an annual fee of $2,000 for residents and $5,000 for non-residents.
That's because they are going to make money off of what they're using it for. So we were basically told that our previous rates were extremely low, and that's why it was more requested.
That's what I kind of figured that. So, okay.
And
They're still making money.
Correct.
and just so I'm clear, when we talk about commercial residents, you're talking about like the workout groups that, is that what you're talking about?
Anybody that's a for-profit company would be considered a commercial.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, Megan, did you have any more to add?
No.
Beth, did you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Okay, can we call the vote, please?
Yes, Director Madrano?
Yes.
Director Frankie?
Yes.
Director Duda?
Yes.
Director Jones?
Yes.
Okay, 12B, Information Management Committee. Do we have anything?
The only thing we had was covered under the manager's report, so no.
Okay.
Okay.
You missed something with the whole street care workshop.
There's a 12A6.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And forestry.
I'm sorry.
It was for last month, and I think we forgot about it.
Host tree
Yes.
care, oh, okay.
One of the things that the Texas A&M Community Forestry does for free is to host tree care workshops for communities to help people learn how to prune their trees, how to pick up the right tree at a nursery, how to care for it when it's young, how much it needs to be watered, all of those things. And so the woman who works for our area will come out and give a free workshop.
Okay, so are we looking to schedule a date and publicize it and do something like that? And do you have a
I think
recommendation?
the recommendation was get the board to approve the Parks Committee to work with her on a date, because we have to work in her schedule.
And it wouldn't be till
The end
later
of
fall, too.
Okay. Okay, we'll make a motion.
Motion to allow Parks Committee to work with Texas A&M Community Forestry to plan tree care workshops for the community.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Art, do you have any questions about that? I don't have any questions. I think this is a great community outreach project. Megan, any more comments about it? Beth?
No.
No. Can we just call a vote and raise our hands and say, aye, that's a great idea? Okay.
Save your
Okay.
voice.
Okay, now is it 12B, Information Management Committee? We don't have anything?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. And the Security Committee. Okay, so let's circle back to,
We want to make sure USDFPS, is that the correct abbreviation? Is paid on the same schedule as the constables.
okay.
Part of the problem we had with this one is when they were first brought on in the application, or should we say the documents they sent us, it was checked on both monthly and bi-weekly for pay. So there was no distinction between what they actually signed for. So we didn't want to pay them bi-weekly without their approval.
Okay, so, and
Because it
that,
affects your financials, so.
right, okay, so that was my question when I was discussing this with Michael. It's like, what did the contract say we were supposed to do?
It said both, and they checked both. So it was just a miscommunication of not seeing that, and without actually discussing it on a board level, we weren't going to.
Okay,
I'm on that committee now, right?
yes, I believe you are. Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
You have that?
And I want to
Yeah, I can send it to
underscore
you.
that part of this is that you're agreeing that we'll pay by manager's check between meetings.
Correct.
So just to make sure that that's clear.
So what, one will be at the board meeting and another one will be
I think
at,
there'll be managers' checks.
No, it'll be manager's checks
All
all
the
the time.
Just
but-
like the constables' checks are, it's
Right.
always managers' checks, but it shows up on your check.
And so we'll just need to work out that, that the invoices go to the security committee for approval.
Got it.
Before we,
Which doesn't necessarily mean a meeting, it just means we'll send them to you for review,
Yes.
and you'll need to let us know
Yes.
that they're okay, and we move forward from there.
okay, so I guess what we need is we need a motion, I move that the board pay the,
USDFPS on a bi-weekly schedule.
yes, on a
Moving
bi-weekly
forward.
schedule through the manager's,
Account.
through the manager's account.
I'll second.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Art?
I do not.
Okay.
I
Meg-
need the contract.
Yeah, I will give you a copy.
Megan, do you have any questions? Beth, do you have any
I
questions?
do not.
Okay. Call the question.
All in favor?
Yes, okay. Okay, so, and the second piece is authorizing the hourly increase for the constables pursuant to the interlocal agreement. Was this?
This is to bring the constable's pay up to the same rate as USDFPS.
Yes.
And I think, Zach, you may have drafted a resolution for this one?
No, ma'am, I
No,
did
we
not.
don't need one?
No. Well,
Okay.
it'll be reflected in the minutes. as-
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Okay, okay,
So that's all it was to make sure that their rate of pay matched, which is 65 an hour.
okay.
And that's-
is that retroactive to the beginning of this
Yes,
period?
it is. It will be retroactive to the beginning of
So it'll be
USDFPS starting.
retroactive for what, August?
For the start date of USDFPS, so we'll
Oh,
go
so
back.
we'll have to pay them, are you saying back pay?
Is that what
differential?
you're-
I mean, what I was saying is that just the start of the pay period that they're working right now.
Oh, then yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it should be prorated back to when they started, because that's what it was decided upon by you and Linda at the time.
Right,
And
But
I
it just
certainly
didn't
knew
make it
that,
in
we
front
can
of the
calculate
board.
that up.
okay.
That's what I think
Okay.
is fair.
Yeah, okay. I agree, that, we got two different groups doing the same job, they need to
Correct.
be paid, they got the same bona fides, and so that we need to do that. Okay,
The one thing I would just ask, Madam President, is that just to commemorate that, is that we just reduce that to writing and something that will be approved by both organizations. So if I can just, if the board's going to approve this, it would also just be subject to President Frankie signing off
Okay.
on it and their counterpart. So that way we've got a nice clean.
Will you give us a document?
Yes,
for this?
yes, ma'am. You got it.
okay, so you want me, okay, so you need a resolution saying that you're gonna write something, what?
No. I'm just saying that if y'all approve this, I'll draft a little one-page amendment
Got
to
it.
that service agreement, so everybody's got the same information going forward.
Okay. Do you wanna make that motion, or do you want me to?
Make the motion. 'cause
Okay.
I haven't been on the security.
Okay, so I move that we increase the rate for the constables pursuant to the interlocal agreement and sync them up with,
USDFPS.
back to the beginning of,
The tongue twister, right?
Their start date.
I'll just say their start date. Okay, is there anything else I need to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Art has second. Beth, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Megan, do you have any questions?
No.
I don't have any questions. Okay. Art, do you have any questions? Okay. Can we call the question?
Yes, all in favor, raise your hand.
Okay. Okay. Deed Restriction Committee report. Okay, so I'm going to throw this back to you because we need to start talking about these
Yes, ma'am.
individual things. Okay.
So if I could keep this pretty short and sweet, we have filed the suit in one of these, and that's on file with the court. I'd ask that if directors have any questions about any of the other lawsuits, that you contact me individually.
Okay. Okay, I'll just ask the question. You filed, has it been served?
We haven't had a return of service yet, but they have, I believe it's 20, it's the Monday following the expiration of 20 days after it's filed. So it's a very specific amount of time. But to date, I have not seen a response to it. If we reach a certain time period and there is no answer to it, then the district can seek a default judgment.
Okay.
And we proceed from there.
That wasn't my question. My question is, you filed with the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been served?
That's what I'm saying. I have not received a
Okay.
citation of service.
Oh.
Is the document we wait.
Meaning that they've received it.
Right. So what happens is the constable will literally go knock on the door,
Right.
and they'll try 1, 2, 3 times, whatever, until that deadline passes. And when that happens, then it's incumbent upon the petitioning party, i.e. the district, to follow up with a motion for summary judgment.
Okay, I'm gonna check for clarification again.
Okay.
So if the constable, let's say, make 4 attempts to serve and it doesn't succeed,
Then the district will move for summary judgment against the defendants. And
wow, okay,
yeah, so you essentially prevail by default if a defendant fails to file an answer to the petition.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The other ones, we continue to monitor the status of deed restriction violations. They all kind of have different things going on. But suffice to say, we do have the petitions in a format that they are ready to go pursuant to the board's direction.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure. I wanted to ask some questions about the Valente Hills things that were said in, but I don't know if this is, because it's not on the agenda, I can do it.
It probably would not be prudent.
Okay,
But
okay.
again, you do have, please contact
Okay,
me and
okay.
we can discuss.
Okay. Okay, so,
I'm sorry.
I just made a joke, next meeting.
Okay.
Because we go through that, so.
Okay.
yeah, okay. Okay, so I don't have any more to, okay, so wait a minute, so. Which, Jimmy or Jana, which house on this, which is the street name that's got the container? What's going on with the container?
I don't know the street names. But you,
She's not
please,
here.
Yeah.
I don't know street name and
Yeah.
address according to violation.
Right.
if that
It
makes
is
sense.
Mimosa Pass.
It's, okay, it's Mimosa Pass.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so what, okay, so where are we standing with that?
So, so we can do this. We can go to executive session. I'd be happy to discuss
I would love-
openly and freely.
Yes, I would
Okay.
like to, do you
Okay.
have that thing for me to read?
It's just right down here at the bottom, but all you needed to notify is that we're going to be going to executive session under advice of legal counsel pursuant to section 551.042.
Two? Okay, so, okay.
Of the Open Meetings Act.
Okay, so do you want me to read that? 'Cause-
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
Just advise the public that we're going to executive session.
Okay. But we can keep Jimmy and Diana here.
The rule is that the board can keep anybody they need who is essential to their decision-making for that purpose.
Yes,
So if the
yes.
board feels that their presence is necessary, you can engage
Yeah.
them.
That's what I'd like to do. Okay, so we're going into executive session, but I'm going to ask that Jimmy and Diana stay. So, David and Tina?
Can you read it, please?
Okay.
No, you don't need to do that. You don't take orders from the audience.
Okay. Okay, so would you please exit to the, out the side, please? September 12th. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you need to shut the live stream down.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I'm gonna,